Good evening, guys. This is Molly. I'm the Executive Director here at the RAL National Association. I'm here with someone many of you may know, Dana Robinson. Dana is on our Academy team, and she does a lot of the support help for other people who own care homes because she and her husband, Jamie, are also care home owners. Dana is also a registered nurse, and she is certified with Virtual Dementia Tour. And she's going to be talking about changing the perception of aging today, and some different things that VDT, or Virtual Dementia Tour, have in their training programs and things that she's learned along the way to become certified in this program. If you guys have questions throughout the presentation, there is a questions tab over on the right-hand side in your control panel. You can type in there if you're having some technical difficulties, and I'll try and help you as best I can. Keep in mind that I will send you the recording for this tomorrow, so if you have too many issues, don't worry, you'll get it tomorrow. Towards the end, Dana is going to probably take a quick second before she gets to the end and say, hey, if anybody has questions up until now, go ahead and type them in that questions area, and we'll get to them at the end. So Dana, thank you so much for being here with us today, and I'm going to let you take things away.
Great, thanks, Molly. I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, like you said, Dreams. They have several programs, and I'm just going to briefly tell you about 2 or 3 of them this evening, but they do have other ones, so this is not all inclusive. I am not employed. I do not work for Second Wind Dreams. This is just a really great program, an organization, they're a nonprofit that is really truly changing the perception of aging, and that's really their motto there. So I am just gonna go ahead and get started with these slides, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to type them, and we'll take some time at the end to try to get through those. So changing the perception of aging. Well, and before we get started, I'm not going to go too much into detail about my background. I am a registered nurse. I am certified as a certified trainer through Second Wind Dreams for their Virtual Dementia Tour, as well as their DACE program and their Dreams program. And I'm also a Positive Approach to Cure certified trainer as well. So lots of great tools, and these are just things that I personally have in the process, especially with being a care home operator, have helped us in resident experiences and truly changing their lives for the better, as well as staff retention and community outreach programs. So just kind of moving on, like I said, these are the 3 programs that I'm going to just introduce you guys to tonight. One being the Virtual Dementia Tour, which we'll go into in just a moment, and then the DACE program, as well as their Dreams program. So the first thing that I just want to, introduce Second Wind Dreams. So they're a nonprofit, and like I said, their whole focus is to change the perception of aging. So a lot of times we, sometimes our seniors just kind of get pushed to the side, especially when they need a little help. And as care home operators, we see that firsthand, right? Especially when we, as smaller residential type homes, when we see in the big boxes or the nursing homes, or sometimes there's a big misconception that once someone is on hospice that they're just kind of being pushed to the side and almost waiting to pass away, and that's not true. And so with these programs, you can change not only how care is provided for them, but truly allow their dreams to come true right through to the end. So wonderful, wonderful organization, and I'm so happy to to be a part of that. So but before we get started, I want to show you just a little clip from a video called Barbara's Whole Story, and this is something that you can just look it up on YouTube. The whole video is a little over half an hour, and I'd strongly encourage you to watch it, and maybe even share it with your staff, just because it's going to show you, Barbara is someone who has a form of dementia, and so it kind of shows you her perception of things, but it's also going to show you how we interact with those people living with dementia and how our interaction with them drastically changes their experience as well as our experience. So I'm just going to show you just the first couple of minutes of it to kind of put it into context for everybody. So let me start that for us. So I'm just going to stop it there. Like I said, that's about a little over half an hour of a video, but it goes further into her story. But I just wanted to show that first clip for you guys because we see a lot of dementia behaviors just in those few moments. You know, a couple things that I'd like to point out is she was kind of rummaging, or she looked in the mirror and she kind of got startled, right? She didn't recognize her own face for a moment. Or when she was at the doctor and they were asking her how old she was and she thought she was 35, or, you know, there's lots of things just kind of showing what her experience is like. And like I said just a little while ago, I would strongly encourage you guys to look for that whole video and watch it, because later on it shows her at a doctor's appointment, it shows her at a dentist's office, and it shows her in the hospital. But more importantly, it's going to show you how different people interact with her, right? So some person may be, you know, very normal, not recognizing that she has some type of dementia, and maybe, you know, asking her what her name is and she can't recall her name, or, you know, telling, if she says she needs to use the restroom, going, not showing her where that is or giving her options. And then we see some people providing care or assistance and being very thoughtful and getting to know her in order to give her better care. So again, I would just encourage you to look up that whole video, but I'm not going to spend our whole hour watching a 30-minute video with you guys tonight. But certainly watch it and let me know what you think. We are going to go on, so please watch that video. And but as we interact with people living with dementia, it's hard for us to know what they're truly experiencing. What is it truly like to have dementia? So Second Wind Dreams has this phenomenal program called the Virtual Dementia Tour. PK Bevel, she created this, and it's really remarkable how we can simulate what it might be like to go through, you know, to live with dementia. So what we, the reason that the VDT was created was to help educate those people providing care, right? Whether it's staff of elderly care homes or people in hospitals, even families living, you know, that have a loved one with a person living with dementia. It becomes very, very challenging because we don't understand all of their behaviors until you put yourself in their shoes, right? So this is a program with very special equipment. We go through different types of tasks to let you kind of not just be told what it might be like, or, you know, I can tell you there are vision changes. I can tell you, you know, different things happen. But when you experience that for yourself, then you realize maybe, you know, maybe it's more normal, their behaviors and their reactions and the things that we see them do are more normal than we realize, which kind of circles back to the Second Wind Dreams stance. In their whole goal is to change that perception of aging so that it's more normalized and we can really improve the quality of lives for those people living with dementia. So for our residents, for our family, for the families of those residents. So why the virtual dementia tour? You know, there's so many statistics out there as far as how many people are going to have Alzheimer's disease, but that are expected to have Alzheimer's disease. And remember, that's only one form of dementia, right? So we're looking at 16 million people by 2050. That's not that far away. And you know, over half of people over 85 have some type of dementia. So when we talk about why should we be doing the virtual dementia tour and where can we do, you know, where is this program beneficial? It's not just, excuse me, it's not just for our staff, although that's a whole thing we're going to talk about in just a few minutes too. But I truly believe that everyone should go through a virtual dementia tour because we are interacting, whether you own a care home or you have staff and you're providing care for somebody that may or may not be living with dementia. I mean, they're walking around. Not everybody goes into care homes. So they're walking around, you know, they're going to the banks, they're going to restaurants. But obviously, it's very pertinent to what we all do because we're in this business, right? We are the gatekeepers. So we're in an industry and we serve older adults and we serve their families too. So when we talk about going through the virtual dementia tour, it's really going to change our perception, and it's going to truly help us provide better care for those residents when we understand kind of what's going on from a very personal standpoint. So I am sharing this picture of one of our residents because I really want you to look at her smile here. So when she came to us, she had been through several different facilities, memory care facilities, extremely medicated, labeled combative. You know, her daughter told me she hadn't smiled in 2 years. And just through training our staff with things like the virtual dementia tour, this woman came to us in February, and I think this picture was taken about a month ago. And you can truly see that she's happy and she's smiling and she's vibrant. And it's all because of the tools that we're providing to our staff to make sure that her quality of life, you know, that she has moments of joy and moments of passion. So when we talk about, you know, why should we do something like a virtual dementia tour? It's, you know, one of the reasons is for to change the experiences. So like I said, this woman was overly medicated and labeled combative. She, you know, was, you know, not having a good time. Her family were very distraught. So when you can experience something like a virtual dementia tour and you can put yourself in those shoes of the residents, that's, you know, that's the biggest, the way to truly understand and to truly learn something and be educated on something is through experience, right? So I just wanted to share this picture with you. And these next two pictures are another resident of ours. And this woman, as you can see, she is actively participating in activities. I mean, we're doing flower arranging here, we're making muffins here, and her hospice nurse made a comment to me at one point that she couldn't do anything, that she's just on hospice and she's, you know, can't really respond or do anything. And it's all because this particular hospice nurse had not been trained in things like the virtual dementia tour or the DAYS program. And I'll tell you about that in a few moments, where she didn't know how to interact. She didn't have that empathy to understand that maybe she just needs a little more time, or maybe she is startled by some type of noise. So these are all different things that you experience through the going through a virtual dementia tour. And it really just creates understanding. And so when we create that understanding of what something might be like, then we change how we provide care, right? We're giving this woman a little more time to complete her task, or we're giving her the opportunity to create those moments of joy because we have patience and understanding of what her world truly might be like. And then, of course, you know, just that's what it's all about. So these are all people living with dementia, but because the staff and their families go through, have the opportunity to go through a virtual dementia tour. And it's completely eye-opening for families as well, because I don't know about each one of you guys, but for me and for Jamie, so too often we hear family members say things like they're doing this on purpose, or they're just trying to be difficult. And so when you put yourself or your family, and you can their family, and you can help them understand that, hey, maybe they're not being difficult, maybe this is challenging for them, and you experience how and why something might be challenging, you're going to change how you interact with somebody. So again, I just wanted to share with you the difference between somebody being labeled combative and somebody and people providing care and assisting with care in a way to create moments of joy with understanding. So obviously the first, one of the main things that I would encourage someone to go through the VDT for would be to change the resident experience, right? Creating moments of joy right through to the end. But what about staff retention? So, in this business as operators, we see staff burn out so much, right? They get frustrated. They go through their day to day. They're not thinking necessarily about that individual, about how little things can make a big difference. So this is that same resident. Like I said, she came and hadn't smiled in 2 years. Well, we have a lot of pictures of her smiling, and our staff are smiling too, because they have the tools to provide her with the care that she needs, but also how she needs it. And so, I can't express enough how to experience something is to truly know. And we do change based on our experiences. So just a couple of pictures here to really talk about creating those moments of joy and staff retention, and through understanding with that VDT. So I cannot walk you guys through every aspect of the VDT, because then it would ruin it for you, right, when you go through it, because it truly is an experience, and that's where you gain that knowledge. But I just wanted to share with you, how when you provide your staff with tools, that will make their job easier, they're more fulfilled, right? And we all know that being a care partner or providing care for somebody who is living with dementia and may be triggered or have challenging moments can be some of the hardest work in the world. But it can be also some of the most rewarding thing that I truly believe any of us will ever do and impact. And so, this picture here is, again, somebody labeled as combative, but with the right training and the right tools and the right experience, you can see the joy not only in our staff, but in this woman as well. And in this particular picture, she's telling him that she loves him, and I think she gave him a kiss on the cheek. So, we like to use the VDT in lots of different ways. So one, like I mentioned, just educating those families so they understand what it's really like, but also educating our staff. And so through experience, when you can feel something, right, you experience something, you've got that anxiety, you've got that, you had that experience, you're going to change your behavior that way. And so when you have a challenging resident and your staff member comes to you and says, oh, I'm having trouble with Miss So-and-so, she keeps doing this, or she keeps doing that, or she keeps getting triggered every time I do this or that, or need to bathe her, or need to toilet her, or whatever it is that they're trying to get her to do. And you can say, okay, well, let's go back to that VDT experience. So how was that for you? How did you feel in that moment, right? In those 8 minutes. So the VDT experience is in 8 minutes, followed by a debrief. So just in those 8 minutes, how was that for you? And so when you can approach your staff and let them think about being that person living with dementia, they can kind of step back and they can say, oh, I need some more time, or she needs, maybe she didn't hear me, or maybe, maybe she couldn't see that there was you know, she couldn't see down the hall, or whatever it is that you're trying to do or trying to accomplish. Um, if you can liken something to an experience, then you're going to be able to help your staff move forward. So another thing that we use the VDT for is for community outreach. So we like to hold some community events, and sometimes we'll partner with the Alzheimer's Association and some other professional members of the community. We've had like an elder affairs advisor. We've had some an elder attorney come and speak about living wills, things like that. We've even had some real estate agents talk about transitioning and selling the house to pay for your care options, right? So care homes and things like that. And when we hold these community events, so sometimes we will do a virtual dementia tour for the community. So you can imagine that when you hold these public service type events, that you have a whole wide range of people that come and participate. Sometimes it's people who have a family member or a loved one or a friend that's living with dementia and they want to understand more about it. Sometimes it is, we've even had different people from different care homes that were not employees of ours, but their employer said, hey, they're doing this VDT, you need to go do it. So there's lots of people. We've had chaplains come. We've had people from different church groups come. We've had lots of people come. And so that's all part of networking and building relationships with the community and providing a service, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing, is we're doing something really, really good for the community and for these seniors and for the family members of these seniors. So this particular event that you see, I am doing a debrief. Everybody went through a VDT and now we're talking about it, and in a group setting. And then some of the other speakers came as well. But it's a really great way to kind of market, right? So you get the opportunity to share what you know, to help other families, and let them know that you're there, you're around, instead of just saying, hey, come tour my home. This is what this is what we do. This is what we offer. You can offer a program like the virtual dementia tour, and maybe maybe they don't have somebody that'll move in right there, or their loved one isn't quite ready, or maybe they are, or maybe somebody's going to hear about that, and so you're providing something, and really building up your reputation as somebody that cares, and truly educating the whole community about people living with dementia, right? So as far as the virtual dementia tour, there's lots and lots of ways that you can utilize. Those are just 3 examples of how we personally use the virtual dementia tour for creating better experiences and care for our residents, creating empathy for our staff, and giving them the tools that they need to provide better care, more patient care, and then of course providing a service for your community. So after, I'm going to go through a couple more things. So if you have questions, you can go ahead and jot them down in the chat box, but I'll remind you again in just a little bit. So before we finish up, but the next part, and I really just decided to add this part about the days at the end, because this is another program. And again, like I mentioned, Second Wind Dreams has lots of programs that they do, but the DACE is the Dementia Aware Competency Evaluation. So it is separate from the VDT. It just kind of goes hand in hand in that it's a really great way to measure where your staff is and be able to do some type of training. So maybe it's a virtual dementia tour, maybe it could be any type of training, any type of implementation that you do. and then be able to quantify their competency in retaining and changing the that person-centered dementia care, right? Because just like you and I are unique, people living with dementia are unique. So we know that there are certain types of behaviors that are very common. There are certain types of characteristics, especially with the different types of dementia, that people exhibit, so to speak. So, and I really hate to use the word behaviors. I like to say triggered, that people are triggered and we need to figure out what that trigger is. But the DACE is just another really great program. So it kind of gives you an outline and a guideline of how to provide person-centered care for those living with dementia. And then it lets you kind of score your staff and then implement some type of training and then rescore them, so to speak. So it's just a really great way to see whatever it is you're doing and if it works. So the next thing, this third program that I wanted to mention to you guys tonight is the DREAMS program. So the Second Wind Dreams actually uses the virtual dementia tour as kind of like a fundraiser for their DREAMS program. And if you guys do nothing else, I would strongly encourage you to look into the DREAMS program, because it is absolutely that feel good, you know, why we're all in this in the first place is to change the quality of life for our seniors, right? So I like to say that the DREAMS program is very similar to like the Make-A-Wish Foundation and how they meet dreams, you know, of people who have cancer, but this is for seniors, right? So they have this program, and it's really not very much to join, and they offer you so much support. And so there's basically 4 types of dreams, right? There's 4 categories of dreams for our seniors. There's an adventure, so you see this picture here of somebody skydiving. There's family and love, so maybe it's reconnecting, maybe it's seeing somebody again. Heart and soul, just those things that make you feel really good. And there's also the reliving a past experience. So there's a picture of somebody getting to go to the beach again. So with the DREAMS program, it's just, I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of that? You know what I mean? Especially because not just that you can market, but goodness, you truly are changing these last years for so many people, and creating moments of joy. So I'm going to show you one more video, and it's going to be about 7 minutes, and it's just going to show you a few clips of the virtual dementia tour in action, so you can kind of see they've updated some of the things since then, so it's not quite the same, but you know, you'll notice that things, you know, people have different equipment like gloves and things over their eyes to kind of change their perception so that it's likened to someone living with dementia, and then it goes into the DREAMS program. So I am going to share that video, and then if any questions pop in, you can put those in the chat after that video, and we'll start taking questions. So let's start the video.
Beth Baker is a journalist who writes about aging, and she states that we all have a stake in the lives of our elders, whether they are beloved family members, neighbors, members of our church, or us. Most of us will grow old, and many of us will need some sort of assistance. What do we want for ourselves? What is our vision of good old age?
The mission of Second Wind Dreams is to change the perception of aging. I founded Second Wind Dreams in 1997 when I found out that 2 92-year-old twins wanted an Elvis impersonator and a happy hour in a nursing home. And I realized then that there had to be a way to get the community involved in what's going on in elder care. So I got an Elvis impersonator, and I got some champagne donated and some hors d'oeuvres, and we had the time of our lives.
One thing that will happen to each and every one of us is that we will indeed age. We cannot get around that. And we want to celebrate this. We find that to be something that's exciting and something that we should embrace.
It just became clear that if you don't take time to really understand what their life story is, that you're really going to miss out. Aside from all the cliches of we owe it to them and things like that, which are true, they just have so much to give us.
The mission of Second Wind Dreams is to change the perception of aging. One of the ways that we do this is by presenting the virtual Dementia Tour. This is a training program and a sensitivity program that helps people become more acquainted with what it might be like to have dementia so that we can all serve them better.
So while we're waiting on cures to come about, it's important that we address those currently living with dementia the best way that we can. And the best way to do that is to take a few seconds out of your day and walk a moment in their shoes.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. It was during the experience of the virtual Dementia Tour, I was just extremely frustrated, far more so than I thought I would be. And once it was over and I was able to step out of that room and just really being able to identify with individuals that have dementia for the first time.
Another way that we change the perception of aging is through our Dreams program. The Dreams program sheds light on the positive parts of aging and the great things that our elders have done to get us here. Everything from the simple to the sublime happen when elders start dreaming.
Today, the World War II vet and former Major League Baseball player received an honor only a hero could receive. Brissy meeting with President Bush as he stepped off Air Force One at Dobbins Air Reserve Base in Atlanta today. The president in town for a fundraiser, but made a point to stop and say hello to an American hero. Brissy.
And I'm 77 years old. Here at the nursing home, they call me Trouble. My wish is to go to NASCAR and ride in a race car.
How fast do you want to go?
Maybe 100.
Maybe 100?
Woo! Heck no! Woo! It's breaking my ears.
My name is Daisy Gamble. I am 73 years old. I taught for 38 years. My wish is to do the weather.
We contacted the local news station and we arranged for Daisy to actually do the weather live. Daisy took charge like she'd been doing weather her whole life.
Noon hour today, we're going to have a high of 86 in Rome. Atlanta has that's my arm.
That's
80.
okay.
Now back to you.
The look on the
I
face.
can't believe this moment's come. I've been nervous all day. Welcome aboard, South. They couldn't hear me?
No, couldn't hear you.
Welcome aboard Southwest Airlines. I'm Mary. I'll be your flight attendant today.
I'd love to get back on the stage and play jazz again. And when I played as well as I did and the crowd accepted me, years melted away.
It's important for students, or youth actually in general, to get involved in honoring our elders through the dreams, because in their minds sometimes they think 40 is old, and then they get to see somebody who's 85 that wants to ride all the roller coasters, and it kind of makes them realize, you know what, they're not so different from me.
Just be able to bring some positive, good feeling to just one is an accomplishment, and it makes us all feel good.
Absolutely. People should go volunteer and get involved in their community, get involved with programs like Second Wind Dreams. You owe it. You owe it to each other.
So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home tonight.
So as we step forward and make those dreams come true, everyone get involved. Make the dreams come true.
So I don't know about you guys, but every time I watch that video, I, chuckle with joy at some moments. I tear up, I cry, and I know that I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to do. And I want to help and inspire each and every one of you to get involved. And like I said, if you do nothing else, do the Dreams program because goodness, it's just one of those feel good things, and you are all doing so much good just by offering these small care home options for our seniors across the country. We all know how wonderful they are. And that VDT is absolutely life-changing. So I just wanted to share these programs with you guys tonight. So, if you do have questions, you can type those in. Right now, here is the information. If you have any questions directly from me, here's an email address for me, dana@ralacademy.com. I am negotiating a discount code for RALNA members. So if you do reach out to them about any of their programs, make sure that you either give them my name or give them this RALNA. You can let them know that you heard about it on a RALNA webinar. But as far as these programs, they're just absolutely life-changing, not only for the seniors, because that's what we're in this for, but also for yourselves and for your staff and for your communities. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys tonight. So if anybody has any questions, or Molly, if you have any questions, I am happy to answer. One more thing, that I was just going to mention is that I know that sometimes it's difficult to find a VDT all across the country. There are lots of certified trainers, there's lots of facilitators, but if you're interested in becoming one or offering it to your care home or your community, that's kind of what this is, that discount code is for. Like I said, I don't work for Second Wind Dreams. I just think these programs are absolutely incredible. So I went out and got certified and performed and doing them for you guys. I was going to be doing one in the inner circle for the RALA inner circle in May, and that was postponed. So hopefully we'll be doing something in 2021 as everybody starts getting back to normal with in-person events and things like that. And I know we have the RAL NatCon coming up as well. So lots of exciting things for us, but that's really all that I have for tonight. So
Dana, so if somebody were to reach out to them just to inquire about the programs that you talked about tonight, what does that process look like? And I know you kind of were just mentioning that it's hard to find a trainer. Is it they would find somebody across the country that would come to their care home or their home and teach them these methods?
Right, so that's a really great question. There are lots and lots of options that you have. Sometimes you can just find out, hey, who's doing this in my community anyway? I offer community events a couple times throughout the year. Sometimes you'll see like home health and hospices. Sometimes even hospitals will offer the events. If you are having trouble finding something, you can reach out directly to the Second Wind, and ask them. I think on their website you can even try to search, but if you wanted to just experience it, you could search, or you could reach out to them and say, hey, I'd like to experience it. Is there one going on in my area? If not, then you have the option, you have a couple of options as well. You can say, okay, I would like to pay someone to come out and train my staff. I'd like for them to come out and do this event for us. And Second Wind Dreams does subcontract. So like me, for example, I am a certified trainer. So if someone in my area reached out to them and said, hey, I'd like to experience this, I'd like someone to come into my care home and train my staff with this, then they would get you in contact with a certified trainer to come out and do that. So that's one option. You can just say, hey, I don't want to actually become a facilitator or a trainer myself. I just want someone to come in and do this event for us. So you can definitely have them do that. You can also say, you know what, I think this program is awesome and I want to implement it all the time. I want to be able to train my staff when I hire. I want to put my staff through when I hire them. I want to do it on their annual reviews, or I want to share this with the family members as they, it's just part of that onboarding process. So I want to do it within my organization. Then you still have a couple of options. You can do what's called a facilitator. So that means that you can perform the VDT within your own organization, and you can provide it for the community. You're not allowed to charge separately for, so if you were going to hold a community event, you couldn't charge entry to the event. But so that's another great option. You can go further and become a certified trainer. So that would be someone who trains other people, or there's some variations. So like a certified trainer can do the hospitals, they can do nursing homes, they can do big events like NetCon, or they could do like conventions, they could do for colleges and universities as well. So if you just want to do it within your own organization, then you don't necessarily need to go the full route of becoming a certified trainer. You could just be a facilitator, and you could do it as many times as you wanted it within your organization, but they do have the option to have someone come out to you and do it as well, and just pay to have it done. So lots of options to get access to it.
I would say so. Goodness gracious. And Dana here, Miss Overachiever, went ahead and just went the full route, full blown trainer, going to train anybody and everybody because she loved it so much. And I can see why. This is also my first time being introduced to this program. And I just, like you guys said, it makes you emotional, right? It gives you the tearjerker reaction whenever you watch these videos. And it's so hard to relate to these people unless you've been able to experience. So what a great program to be able to do that. Dana, I can also imagine that for you as a care homeowner, this is another marketing, your staff, just like you said, you had a resident who didn't smile previously and now they smile, and they're very interactive and they're different because of the way that you've been trained and you've trained your staff. And so that helps you not only fill your home, because now you can say, hey, my staff is specifically trained to deal with people that are, having memory loss or any sort of dementia. And that helps you as a care homeowner in a whole nother way.
Absolutely. I really think not just the marketing to, saying, hey, this is how we train our staff, but also offering that family support, because families are very, very frustrated or scared or upset. That's not the mom that they remember, or whether somebody is being triggered with violent triggers, or if they are tearful. Each of those are two extreme situations, but families are in distress too. So it's not just for training your staff, it's also for being that family support as well. And that's truly where you're going to make such a huge impact. Marketing, because part of marketing isn't just, hey, let's put something on paper, let's put something on our website, which you certainly can do and get residents that way, but word of mouth too. When you have people who have their loved ones with you and you provide things like the VDT for those family members, or they see that your staff are trained so much differently, they're going to be telling everybody how great you are. And that's a huge part of marketing too.
Well, it looks like you must have done an amazing job answering all the questions for this because I haven't had any additional questions come in. But everybody, if you have questions, Dana's information is on the screen right now. It's dana@ralacademy.com. If you want to check out the second wind, oh, that's another thing. I was going to ask you, can somebody come for the Second Wind Dreams program? Can they nominate somebody from their own care home, or how does that work?
So with the Second Wind Dreams, basically, if you decide, I mean, the Dreams program, if you decide you want to join the Dreams program, they give you lots of tools for discovering what your residents' dreams are, and you pretty much just can decide. You know, dreams can be as simple as, we saw that one woman who just wanted to hold a puppy again, to something as extreme as, you know, doing the weather, or, you know, flying on a Southwest flight and being the flight attendant, or meeting the president. I mean, they can be as grandiose or as minuscule as possible. So they have a platform and they help you to fulfill that dream for that resident. So basically, you join the program and they do lots and lots of reaching out to you to offer support. But if you have an idea and something pops into your mind, there's a whole platform, but you can contact them and they will help you gather those resources. So it's not about, you know, so things can be expensive, right? Obviously, if you're gonna fly somebody to meet the president or whatever that dream that you're fulfilling is, they're gonna help you with ways to raise money for that, or ways to get people to donate services. So, you know, when PK was speaking in her video about it, it all started because she was in a nursing home and this couple of guys wanted a Elvis impersonator and a cocktail hour, right? So she got the champagne donated and she got somebody to donate his time. So there's a whole platform where they help and they want you to be successful with meeting those dreams. So absolutely, it's not so much a nominate, it's more of sharing the information and then lots of people working together to make sure that that dream is met. So absolutely, that's part of why you're joining, is so that you can have access to some of those resources for you know, meeting the dreams and figuring out exactly what they are for your residents.
And what a beautiful program that is too. I can't imagine how many different things that they've done. I just want to go see all the different things they've done now. So check it out, you guys, secondwind.org, or to ask, just ask Dana@ralacademy.com.
Yeah,
I'm
always happy to talk about it.
Yeah, Dana, thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for doing this. Everyone, I will send this recording out tomorrow, and I will also send you the videos. The videos are embedded in her presentation, but I'll also send them separately in case you can't get them to play in the presentation. You probably will, though. And so that will help you guys, because if you watch the recording, there will be just blank spots where the videos were. So you will have to go back and watch those videos anyways. But if you don't want to wait until tomorrow morning when I send this out, you can go and search for Barbara, the whole story, on YouTube, and it will come up. So I will speak to you guys tomorrow through email. And Dana, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Good night.